Also, medical bills. Being physically fit and feeding the body is just like feeding the soul. We have to take care of what we've been given. It is a gift. And so you have to look at that physical, and if you're low on that physical, then plans have to be made around that to help reduce your finances, everything else. So all of it kind of directly ties together. Support system, having friends, family, and backup resources available in times of need. Why is that a resource? Why do you need other people? How many of you do things all by yourself?
So look, sorry.
Go ahead.
Why do you need? You asked why do you need other people? Because they may be able to cover. They may be able to cover things for you that you can't handle. Like, I mean, they could give you guidance on like how to perform a certain job, or just like how to help you out at school, your medical school, something like a subject, like whenever somebody's good at math, you're to know what math, you just speak to that person, like look at that person and ask them.
Very good. Yeah. When you are struggling, and if you have the ability to be able to assess yourself, and at the end, we really do need to do a self-assessment with everyone here to see where you're at. What you're going to do is you're going to use your strengths to help with some of these weaknesses. But where you're weak at, this is where your support system comes into place. Because if I'm having problems, let's say, dealing with people right now, I'm emotionally not doing well, for whatever reason, I'm arguing with people right and left, am I going to look for people who are arguing with people right and left? No. I'm probably going to look for people who are pretty optimistic. If I need to start feeling a little bit better, if I'm all of a sudden feeling a little dark, a little sad, a little depressed, I'm going to start pulling people around, learning how to pull a healthy support system around you, looking at specifically what it is you need. If I'm struggling in trig, I need to find someone who's really good at trig, right? If I'm in a relationship and that relationship is struggling, do I want to go to people who have not had healthy relationships? No, I want to have people in my life that have had healthy relationships that can help me. If I'm struggling in my job, learning how to find people who have learned how to navigate that system, because I'm here to tell you, every one of you will not have the perfect boss. Every one of you will have a point where you're going to have a very, very difficult boss to deal with. And when you have that situation, how you handle it professionally, using your words, your communication styles, and knowing how to have effective, healthy relationships, you'll look and find out who's surviving that. How do I need to act? How do I need to respond in those type of situations? How can I overcome this very difficult time right now? Learning how to self-assess and pulling those people in. For our people who participate and who are participants in our program, they always have some type of beef about what their boss is doing to them. Oh, I've been wronged in one way or another. Our job is to tell you, yes, you've been wronged or not. Our job is to help you figure out how to navigate it. So the first question I usually ask is, has anyone survived this boss? Oh yeah, this one girl, she seems to be able to just roll off of her and she does just fine. I mean, she's not even on the radar. She doesn't have anything that goes on. Then I'm going to say that's who you need to partner up with because she has the secrets for you on how to survive this situation right now. Learning how to form some healthy support systems around you in any scenario, having that skill set is going to be the most important thing for you as you move forward in your life from this point forward.
Gina, we were talking about Celebrate Recovery or 12-step programs, and people that are struggling with addictions, they have to have other people understand what it's like to recover from addictions. So you walk into a group like that, and there's somebody that's been there for 5 years or a year, has a year's time of recovery, and they're going to have the spiritual understanding, the experience of relying on God for all those things they couldn't do, and they can share that experience, strength, and hope with one another. It's the same thing with circles. I see the same kind of process, is that all those pieces come together and form that support system, including all the other parts of it that produce the results.
Yes,
that you're talking
it's a very holistic approach. Yeah. When you look at the 8 fundamental steps, the 12 steps in AA, all of them have a spiritual understanding that there's a higher power, that some things are out of our control, and learning to give that over. and to have people around you who can relate to you and help you through that process. We're about to partner in with Celebrate Recovery. And this is a really unique thing that has never been done, I think, for Celebrate Recovery or for Circles Building Bridges. Because what we're going to be doing is trying to look at a very comprehensive approach that will have even greater outcomes, because both programs have amazing outcomes. One of the things that Celebrate Recovery has realized, and we've been going around talking with a lot of different other agencies, is that when you're having a hard time in the middle of an addiction, a lot of times you've hit rock bottom by the time you're getting to Celebrate Recovery. So can you imagine what those relationships are like? You've burned every healthy relationship by the time you hit rock bottom all the way around you. And for some, when they get into this environment with others that are just like them, it feels really good. And so all of a sudden, they're connecting with other people who have just burned all these other bridges. You're at the same place I am right now. You and I can connect with each other. But what we're learning here, though, is what type of support system do we need to have in place? We need healthy people around us in order to be able to get out to the other side. And sometimes there's this delay in recovery because unhealthy relationships have formed in this process because it feels so good to be connected again. And what we have to do is wrap around healthy relationships around these individuals so they can have a more speedy recovery without any type of delay in either hospital. So this is going to be a beautiful thing between the two I'm really excited about. Okay, relationships, role models. Having frequent access to adults who are appropriate, nurturing, and who do not engage in destructive behavior. Do you all agree with that? If you're an addict, you've heard about it. If you're allergic to strawberries, stay out of the strawberry patch. Maybe y'all ever heard that? It's an old saying, one I grew up with, so that dates me. I can already tell. But yeah, but it holds very true. That if you want to go ahead and have relationships, you need to make sure that you expose yourself into healthy situations. If you're spending your life in bars, casinos, things like that, do you think you're exposing yourself to the very things that you need? No, no. But when you're here in an environment on a college campus, and everyone here has the same core principles, and you're here because you have a spiritual belief, and you have a lot of the same core values, your relationships and your role models are much healthier. You'll achieve things much faster than what other people will who are not exposing themselves and do not have access to healthy relationships. For a lot of people who come to our program, they do not have access to healthy relationships. They've lived in a very dysfunctional family, a lot of abuse, a lot of language issues, a lot of verbal abuse, a lot of sexual abuse, all these other things. And this is the first time that they've learned how to build, or they've been exposed to healthy relationships. And you'll hear them say this over and over again, this is my family, this is my family, this is my family. They're so desperate to have something that they can say family that's healthy that we have to give them something. And so what we've done is we created a healthy family for them. Someplace that they have an identity that they can relate to, that they can help their children relate to break generational poverty or break generations of abuse. So we have to break it down. How are we on time?
We got 20 minutes.
Okay, we're going to go down to the hidden rules, and then we're going to stop and do appreciations. Hidden rules. You guys have talked about hidden rules, right? So you all talked about that time and all of the other things that go. Do you all remember the hidden rules? Okay. Well, knowing those hidden rules are very, very important. I tell you my parents' story for a reason. Because my father, who grew up in a professional environment, who worked in upper management at Safeway, and went on to own parts of Homeland, and so he was high up in his profession. So when he shows up at work, is he showing up late? Is he showing up on time? No, he shows up early. Every single solitary day. Setting, and he's in there at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. He's setting the stage. My mother, on the other hand, who did not grow up in the professional world, who grew up in the live by the hour kind of wage world, do you think she showed up on time? Oh my goodness, no. I remember getting married and telling her 2 hours early that I was actually getting married at 5. I was getting married at 7 in the evening. Because I knew my mother. She would plan something, and I love her. She's one of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life. Would give you the shirt off her own back. She would just give you anything and everything. Beautiful, beautiful person, and I say that with the utmost respect. But she is late to everything. Everything it does the hands down, she's late to. So when we look at knowing what those hidden rules are and being able to understand that, being able to not argue about those, but to help each other and why that's so important to be there on time, to be able to teach her how to plan backwards, that theory of change, because that was life-changing for her. My mom is very rarely late now. She just simply did not know how to plan backwards. That was it. It's not that she meant to be rude or disrespectful or to, show up to my wedding late or anything like that. She just simply did not know how to plan backwards. And because of that, she crammed too much into things, and she would always show up late. And so this was a big part of their marriage, and a lot of part of their arguments that they had was over time. So understanding the hidden rules and learning how to appreciate, because my dad really didn't realize she didn't have the skill sets. He really felt she did it because she didn't love him, because she didn't care about him, she didn't respect him. And it had nothing to do with that at all. She simply did not know how to learn backwards. So knowing about the hidden rules, know that when you're out in the workforce, when you have friends that run into this problem all the time, you have other relatives, take a moment to help them learn how to plan backwards. And if you are one of those people, take the time to learn how to plan backwards. Take that theory of change and apply it into your life. And know the hidden rules, because that's what's going to help you navigate between those economic lines. It's going to help you in your workforce, and it's going to help you in your relationship, because there is no one exactly like you. Everyone's going to come with their own hidden rules. And if you don't know how to figure out those hidden rules, it's going to be a very difficult life for you. But the secret is you figure it out. Very rarely do I get frustrated and disappointed with people. Very, 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 very rarely, because I understand where they're coming from. I have an appreciation for where they're at right now. And my job is to help them get to another point. Whether they're employed by me, whether it's just a relationship as a friendship, whether they're my own children or my spouse. My job is to be God's tool and to help. Any questions? Okay, let's do appreciations. Who wants to start with